So you are a historic Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Or you used to be, whatever.
Yeah. All my life.
Yeah.
I got introduced to football in 1977 and Cowboys was the team.
Right.
So a lot of times you have an affinity for those teams you kind of grow close to.
My friend said this, like you can tell when a person started watching a sport based on their favorite team.
Yeah.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? Which is like you can always like if you see like a grown man now who's like say he's from New York and he's a Golden State fan, you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah, dude, that don't even sound
Yeah,
right.
it's like, huh?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
like, yeah. So
Very good point. Very good point.
You're a Cowboys fan, right? So Dak Prescott, they asked him about the NFL protest, the kneeling for the national anthem, and he basically said, football field or the football games are not an appropriate venue to be kneeling, and things like that. And people got at him. Charlemagne gave him Donkey of the Day. Everybody got at him. Yeah, everybody kind of it reinforced people's reasoning for boycotting the NFL, which is
as if right on time for the season to start.
Yeah.
Okay, and we think that's arbitrary, or do you think that happened?
I think that's arbitrary.
Okay.
Yeah,
just asking.
Yeah,
maybe he just triggered some feelings and now niggas is
So I just think but what was interesting, right, was I feel like anytime things like this happen, I always feel like people's reaction to it is the most interesting part to me.
Okay.
Right, so I wrote.
Do you mean if it's based on emotion?
Emotion, yeah.
Or if it's based on logic and common sense?
Well, most of the time when people react, it's usually off of emotion.
All right, that's one of the reasons I never react immediately to anything.
Right.
That's just my method because I need to process it a little bit different. But go ahead.
All right, and then so I did some thinking.
Oh
right?
Shit! Ooh! Clap for that shit. Little niggas out here thinking and shit. That's some revolutionary shit.
People are upset about the Cowboys because the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said my players will not be kneeling or they won't be protesting because the NFL, they might have a policy where people they can stand in the locker room during the singing of the national anthem as their form of protest. Right?
Okay, yeah.
He said my players will not be doing that or they would get cut.
Did he say my niggas or my players?
He said my players. He meant to say my niggas.
He meant to say my niggas. These niggas right here, my boys.
That's what he meant to say.
Yeah.
But so people are looking at Dak as the house nigga, as he's getting the rest of the boys in line, things like that. And they even said, what was that flat thing? Total line.
Total line.
Yeah, that just sounds mad slave.
Yeah, that total line. Tell them about the kneel line, boss. Tell them about the total line, boss. Tell them about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds wild to me. So, what did you think about it?
Did you write a piece on that?
I did.
Okay, so what did you write?
So I wrote
before I give you my shit.
Okay, so I wrote a piece on Urban.
This could be my last show after this, but go ahead.
I wrote a piece on UrbanX.NYC stating that NFL players should stop kneeling during the national anthem. Ooh. They should stop. But that doesn't mean they should abandon the entire protest.
Okay.
Right? And my argument was that once, especially this year, right, this past season, Kaepernick wasn't even in the league, right? So the kneeling, they created the narrative around the kneeling and they made it towards, instead of the original issue, which was police brutality.
They twist that shit into something else.
They twisted it into attack on the national anthem, on
patriotism,
the flag, and patriotism, and our soldiers and things like that, right? So what I said was, if that is still the issue that we're protesting, the police brutality and how they deal with African Americans, let's just do it another way during the if the players still want to do that, just do it another way during the games.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be during the national anthem because if you're getting threatened with fines and getting cut off your team, which is your livelihood, that's how you feed your family, right? Yeah, so it's not, and I also feel like it's not fair to us at home behind the computer
talking that shit,
just talking, expecting players who work their entire lives for this. This is how they feed their families. This is how they provide. This is how.
So they need to adjust.
That's it. We've always adjusted. Black people have always adjusted
because. And people don't realize in the NBA there is a no kneeling policy,
and it fascinates me because people look at the NBA as this super liberal. They let players. You can't even talk about the refs without getting fined. So so think about that.
Keep that in perspective.
Keep that in perspective. So it's not like this free. You could just protest. No. So what did the players like LeBron do? They wore shirts,
right?
You know, and warm up, and then
he took the picture of Trayvon Martin with the hoodie and the Skittles,
right,
in the locker room to use the mediums of social media to bring awareness.
Right. He was navigating the waters instead of trying to fight the waves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been my thing, right? And then if kneeling is going to be the symbol for that protest, and we already said that's a real docile position.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that.
You don't want to do that, but you remember Tim Tebow,
right?
Every time he scored, he threw a touchdown, he kneeled, right? And it wasn't disrespectful or anything, but that was his thing. So it's up to us to control that narrative,
right? So we can score a touchdown and kneel because that's not during the national anthem. That's a very good outlook for those who still, that's the way I look at it. Do I have the floor?
Good.
Okay. I want to say this, and I want to be clear when I say this. Jerry Jones's disposition is no different than the other 29 owners in the NFL. Let's be clear with that. If you think Jerry Jones, the only thing Jerry Jones did was be completely honest. All of these owners are racist. All of these owners are multi-billionaires. All of these owners, this is a fucking toy for them, as we mentioned. These are little green army men on the field, and when Jerry Jones comes over to meet Mara from the
Dolphin,
the Giants,
the Jets,
or the Jets, whoever the owner is, and they get together, it's like me bringing my toys to come play with you and your toys. So let's be clear with that.
They trade them like cards.
Yeah. It's really no big deal. It's just that Jerry Jones took an oral approach that just spoke truth, clearly truth. So because I notice a lot of our people, we like to be lied to. We like our white people to make us think they like us. And that goes to you on your job. Just because the boss come out and say, good job, Tyrone, doesn't mean he gives a hoot about who you are. Right? We have to establish this in our minds. All right? So with that being said, I'm trying to establish that, and then you got to throw in the fact that the Cowboys technically are America's team.
Oh, okay, right.
They've been labeled America's team for years. So
narrative.
Right, narrative. America's team, national anthem, goddamn. Texas, America's team, national anthem. You have a gumbo of a situation that reeks that my players cannot do this, because this is not only a smack against my team, this is a smack against America
and my base. That
and
makes
my
me
base
money.
And my brand and my money.
And my money, right?
Okay.
So what I would like to liken this to, right? So people. You've even people have said this, right, on the radio and things like that, saying, "Oh, the NFL owners are infringing on their rights for free speech." Once you sign to be a part of a company, any company, doesn't matter what it is, you kind of relinquish those rights.
You relinquish the rights that they say you have to relinquish.
This is why people's bio on Twitter says the views are mine and not my employee, because that's why people, when they tweet something crazy, their job fires them.
Absolutely, because they have incorporated that into the contract. And I gave you my scenario. If I own my little veggie snack, and I used the Hebrew Israelites last time, but I could use the Mormons. If they out in front of my store giving their Mormon speeches, and nobody's coming into my store to buy veggie wraps and all that old shit because they are First Amendment right, but they're messing up my money, I have a problem with that. And you would too if you ran your business. If all they told you was fuck you, Black Dot, it's my First Right Amendment, you're going to feel salty about that, because the bottom line is, if your bottom line is suffering, it's suffering. I already told you how I feel about kneeling. I've been thinking about it. I can't think of anything positive and strong about a black man taking a knee in America. I can't. I tried to remix it in my mind, find another angle. I can't. It is a docile move, except when players get hurt, because they've been doing that since Pop Warner. Players get hurt, everybody take a knee. I get that. If your goal is to bring attention to a cause, you are delusional if you think white people do not know what's going on. It's like you're saying, white guy going, hey, what's that guy over there kneeling for? Police brutality. Hey, Tony, when we get back to the office, you make sure we look into this. They already know because they're the ones doing it. So who are we trying to garner attention from?
Right.
It goes back to my original narrative, victim consciousness. Anytime you take a knee and say, look at me, look at what we have to go through, you are asking for sympathy from the very people who put you in the position that you are in. Now, Colin Kaepernick started this shit.
It's, it should be dubbed as his protest. It was only him, like looking back on it, right? And looking where we are now and how they flipped it. It was his protest to take. It wasn't anybody else's, really.
Absolutely. It's his. Now, let's dig into him a little bit. He got a white mother.
Right.
Who did not want him because he was what? Black. So she denounced him because he was black. So this nigga got his own agenda, right? That he is playing out in front of the world. Can we just keep it a buck here? So this is not somebody who grew up, probably he's dealing with oppression in his life. His very mother denounced him. And he's probably got millions stacked away. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
So he probably didn't lose, right? It's easy to take a knee when you got $20 million, sitting in the can somewhere.
I think his last contract was bread.
Yeah, these quarterbacks get bread, right? If you, Tyrone, take a knee at your Burger King job, you fucked, right? Now we're asking Dak Prescott to walk away from his $50, $75 million job to make who happy? You? We have a tendency to live vicariously our revolutionary aspirations through other people. And you'll fuck around and see Dak at the supermarket after he do that shit you talking about. Yeah. And you 6 weeks later, hey, Dak, what's going on? Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I took a knee. Like, I'm all for the revolutionary ideals. I'm all for it when it's rooted in logic.
Absolutely.
Right? So they keep saying people keep saying we have the numbers, we can walk away. We can start our own NFL.
Okay, are we gonna start our own league instantaneously is what I'm asking. Like if every player quit today, can tomorrow we have a league? If we could do that, these white folks would be out of business and they would treat us better. They know there's nowhere to go. You know how long it's gonna take to build stadiums? Who are these billionaires who are going to build these stadiums?
32 billionaires in the black community.
We need 32 stadiums. We need hotels. We need first-class chartered flights. We need a training. Do you know what it takes to put this shit on? And 80% of it is employed by black people. Let's keep that in mind, too. So when you want black people to leave something so that we can crumble it to its knees, but there is nothing in place to fill that void, you are dreaming. You are delusional. And I noticed this about black people, them talking about my people. We create these delusional scenarios because they give us hope. We're so traumatized that we want to say shit like, this start our own league. How? How, Sway? How and when? So let's get that off the board.
Right.
There are no black owners anywhere. There's no black upper management. And it's not just in the NFL. Look at your job. If you work in corporate America, this and that. In upper management, you may find one black person. You think that's by accident? The detached part of the pyramid that I speak about, that upper management in everything that we do is Caucasian people. You think black people are not qualified to fill these jobs? We are. Let me make this clear before we move on. I have to make this point. If white supremacy was a building, like a place we could go to and fuck it up, and we got together and said, look, man, a lot of us gonna die, right? They got machine guns, they got weapons. But if we knock down that building, our children will have freedom and live forever, and they can take over, and there will be equality in the world. I'd be the first one willing to line up, and that's on everything I love. As much as all the other black men who feel this way, it'd be more women in that goddamn line than some of these dudes, but that's another conversation for another day. But white supremacy is a system.
It's so ingrained, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like,
It's everywhere.
It's so ingrained.
And the last point I'm gonna make before I'll hand it back to you and we can move on.
Go ahead.
If you are on social media, if you have an iPhone, if you pay a cable bill, if you drive a car, if you have a mortgage or rent, if you are on YouTube, you are supporting white supremacy. I don't need to say it again. Let that shit roll around in your noodle. And that is all of us, right? All of us participate in white supremacy. But again, black people create this illusion or selective racism, or you know what I mean, to think we are empowered. And this shit about black power, show me where the place of black power is. I want to sign up. Show me the building called black power. If you can show me a building called white supremacy, show me what the archetype is for black power in this day and time that is totally independent on everything white, and I'm the first nigga in line to join up. That is not the world we live in currently.
Right.
Doesn't mean there won't be a time with hard work and us doing what we have to do, but me and you won't be around when that happens.
Right.
Right? Are we clear on that?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not going in to the people in the chat room. I'm asking us to just use logic, because I'm gonna get back to this narrative, because there's a few more stories that's gonna reinforce this concept. So when we saying black power is something that makes us feel good, I own an iPhone, we sitting here on YouTube, we clicking on Facebook, we are participating. Only Nature Boy is not.
Don't he got a YouTube channel?
But he does have a YouTube channel. So.
Peace. This is the Black Dot, author of the underground classic Hip Hop Decoded and Urban Culture Decoded. For 15 years, I've been decoding hip hop, breaking it down, giving you it piece by piece, the DNA of hip hop, all of its multifaceted components. For the next 15 years, I want you to join me as I give you hip hop recoded, and we put it back together, giving you its RNA so that we don't leave the next generation lost. But I have to give you a disclaimer. I am not a hip hop guru. This is not hip hop law. This is for pure entertainment purposes only. I am not a doctor. So before you take the red pill and go with us into the matrix of hip hop, consult your doctor to see if hip hop recoded is for you. With that being said, we thank you for your patronage, and we see you on the other side. Peace.